What if the milk in your fridge could become one of the most expensive foods on Earth? Right now, a tanker truck is rolling down a quiet country road. Inside it, thousands of liters of fresh cow milk are sloshing in the dark. Within a few hours, that milk will completely change. It will lose its liquid form. It will gain a smell, a texture, and a taste that can take months, even years, to fully develop. By the end of this journey, some of that milk will become cheese worth hundreds of dollars a wheel. But here's the strange part. Almost nobody who eats cheese every day knows what actually happens inside the factory. The process is hidden behind steel doors and secret timing. Today we're going inside. We're following one truck of raw milk from arrival to the moment it becomes premium cheese. Cheese has been made for thousands of years. It's believed to have started by accident when milk stored in animal stomach pouches curdled during long journeys. That accident became one of the most important foods in human history. Today, it's a massive global industry. But modern cheese factories look nothing like old farms. They're filled with steel tanks, computer sensors, and workers in full protective gear. People are talking about this more than ever. Videos of giant cheese wheels and strange dripping liquid are going viral. Viewers are amazed. Many ask the same question. How does milk turn into something so complex? By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how. Let's start at the very beginning. The farm. Every great cheese starts with a healthy cow. Most large farms use automatic machines that gently pull milk using suction, similar to how a calf would feed. This has to be done carefully. Stressed cows produce lower quality milk, and that means lower quality cheese. Once collected, the milk can't just sit around. It spoils fast. So it's immediately cooled to almost freezing to slow down bacteria. Then refrigerated trucks arrive, sometimes before sunrise, and pump the milk straight from farm tanks into the truck. The journey to the factory begins. But here's something most people never think about. That milk in the truck is not cheese material. When the truck reaches the factory, the milk goes through strict testing for bacteria, fat content, and quality. If anything's wrong, the whole batch gets rejected. Once approved, it's pumped into giant tanks, some holding tens of thousands of liters. Here, the transformation begins. Step 1 is pasteurization. The milk is heated to a specific temperature held there, then cooled quickly. This kills harmful bacteria while keeping the milk mostly intact. Then comes something almost unbelievable. Bacteria are deliberately added back into the milk. It's not harmful bacteria. Carefully chosen strains that turn lactose, milk's natural sugar, into lactic acid. This step quietly rewires the milk's entire chemistry. But that wasn't the biggest transformation yet. Next comes an ingredient with a strange history, rennet. It's traditionally taken from a calf's stomach lining, though today it's often made through lab fermentation instead. When rennet hits the warm milk, something incredible happens in minutes. The liquid begins to thicken into a soft, wobbly substance called curd. This moment demands precision. It's too early or too late, and the whole batch can be ruined. Workers cut the curd into small cubes using long knives. This single choice controls everything. Smaller cubes release more liquid, making harder cheese. Larger cubes hold moisture, making softer cheese. One decision. Two completely different cheeses. And here's a surprise. The leftover liquid, called whey, isn't thrown away. It's often turned into whey protein powder or ricotta. Nothing goes to waste. The curds are then gently heated and stirred to release even more whey and firm up. Then comes a step people rarely think about: salting. Salt isn't just flavor. It controls moisture, slows bacteria, and shapes texture. Depending on the cheese, salt is mixed directly in, or the cheese is soaked in a salty brine, sometimes for days. At this point, the curd finally looks like real cheese. Small, soft, squeaky chunks. But it's still far from finished. What happens next separates ordinary cheese from truly premium cheese? Aging. This is where flavor is actually born, and it's more scientific than most people realize. The shaped cheese moves into aging rooms with exact temperature. Some cheeses age for just a few weeks. Others age for years. And the difference isn't random. Every single week is planned. Workers walk through these rooms constantly, checking wheels one by one. Many cheeses need to be turned regularly, sometimes daily, sometimes weekly. Why? Because gravity never stops pulling moisture downward. If a wheel isn't flipped, the fat and liquid inside settle unevenly, and the texture turns out wrong. For centuries, this turning was done entirely by hand. Today, some factories use robotic arms that lift, flip, and replace hundreds of wheels an hour. But surprisingly, many high-end cheesemakers still refuse to automate this step. They believe a trained hand can sense things a machine can't. Then there's the rind, the outer layer of the cheese. This isn't just packaging, it's alive. Some rinds are brushed with brine again and again, building a hard, salty crust that protects the inside. Others are deliberately introduced to mold spores, the same category of mold used in blue cheese and soft tripe cheeses like brie. What sounds like contamination is actually controlled biology. These molds break down proteins and fats from the outside in, slowly changing the texture from firm to creamy. This is also where the smell most people associate with fine cheese actually comes from, not from decay. From precise microbial activity that's been studied and repeated for generations. Humidity is monitored constantly. Too dry, and the cheese cracks. Too damp. An unwanted mold can take over, ruining an entire batch worth thousands of dollars. And here's something most people never consider. Every wheel in that room is aging at a slightly different rate, even if they started on the exact same day. Small differences in milk, in curd cutting, in salt absorption mean no two wheels are perfectly identical. That's part of why true artisan cheese is never completely uniform, and why master tasters are brought in partway through aging just to sample, score, and decide which wheels are on track and which need adjusting. Some cheeses are pulled out after a month, others are left in dark, cool rooms for 2, 3, even 10 years, developing crystals of flavor compounds that crunch when you bite into them. By the time a wheel is finally ready to leave that room, it has been touched, turned, tested, and watched more times than most people would ever guess. While cheddar aged for years develops that deep, sharp bite people pay premium prices for. Some cheeses age for weeks, others age for over 2 years. Workers regularly flip and inspect the wheels by hand to keep the texture even, and something unexpected shows up. 2 wheels made from the exact same milk, aged in the exact same room, can taste slightly different. Something as small as airflow near a shelf can change the final flavor. This is why cheesemaking is part science, part art. As aging continues, some cheeses grow a natural rind, protecting the inside and controlling moisture. For blue cheese, something even stranger happens. Mold spores are injected using long needles, growing into those famous blue-green veins. It sounds alarming, but it's a safe method used for centuries. This is the real turning point in the whole story. It's not one dramatic moment. It's this slow, patient waiting. Time itself becomes an ingredient, turning a cheap block of curd into an award-winning product food experts rave about. Once aging finishes, quality experts taste and inspect every batch. Anything with defects gets removed before it ever reaches a store shelf. Proved cheese is sliced, weighed, and packaged, often by machines with near-perfect precision. Vacuum sealing removes air, slowing spoilage and locking in flavor. Then it travels to grocery stores, restaurants, and finally to someone's kitchen table. The impact of this process reaches far beyond one block of cheese. It supports millions of jobs, from farmers to factory workers to truck drivers. It shapes global trade, with entire regions building their reputation around one style of cheese. There's also a growing focus on sustainability as factories work to manage water use and byproducts like way more responsibly. Meanwhile, demand for specialty, artisan cheese keeps rising as people search for unique flavor and tradition, not just nutrition. So next time you unwrap a block of cheese, remember its journey. It started as ordinary milk on a quiet farm, traveled by truck, was transformed by heat, bacteria, and a strange enzyme called rennet. It was cut, cooked, salted, and shaped by human hands. Then it waited, sometimes for years, quietly building flavor in the dark. Every single bite carries that hidden story, and now you know exactly how it happens. If this journey amazed you, tell us in the comments which cheese surprised you the most. Hit like if you learned something new, and subscribe for more behind the scenes. Stories that reveal the hidden truth behind everyday foods.